Michael Jordan was a scorer first, second, and third. He was a phenomenal finisher of the game. And what I mean by that is Michael Jordan stopped playing the game. He stopped having to facilitate. He didn't have to do all those things. He just finished the game. He finished it. He was, I think, the game's greatest finisher because he had no weakness in his game.
One time, I can recall me and BJ sitting on the bench, and we're sitting on the end of our chairs, and Michael gets a move, baseline. The defender is here. That's out of bounds. MJ is facing him here. And somehow he was able to go around, plant here, get here, and go up and dunk the basketball. So for me, some of the stuff that he would do would be almost superhuman from a standpoint that how can you make a pivot when he would turn so sharp, you would see his shoe almost come off. Literally, where he would turn the corner on the baseline and you would see this happen, and the next movement was a powerful thrust and up to dunk on somebody. That's incredible to me.
It was 97, we was in Minnesota, and Flip had switched and put me on Michael Jordan, one of the greatest probably ever touched the ball. And we was on the right side of the court, and I counted his dribbles. I was able to catch his dribbles, you know? 1, 2, come back, cross over. He crossed it back over, 1, 2. When he crossed it back over, I stole it. Give me this. Very next play down. We go down, score. The very next play, they call it the very next play. This is no sauce. I counted the dribbles. 1, 2, come across. When I blinked, he was gone. I turned around, he was dunking the ball, giving somebody dap, and halfway down the court, that fast. That's not new. Michael Jordan wasn't human.
I come from a Jordan era. I am biased, and I'm going to be a bias to the day I pass away. Michael Jordan will be my GOAT.
I always loved you. I love you even more.
No, he would be my GOAT, but that doesn't mean I'm not taking anything away from LeBron. LeBron is amazing, but Michael Jordan is my GOAT. I play basketball because of Michael Jordan.
When I got to the Bulls, that first day of practice, I was like, where do they do this at? A lot of people say, oh, MJ, he's tough on his teammate, he's this. Dude never, ever raised a voice at me, ever. The only thing he did was, Randy, you're not doing your job today. Did that. This dude brought it, man. He, like I said, the kids, people saw what they saw on TNT. They didn't see the 2 hours that he put in practice, dude. This dude practiced, man, which was surprising to me. I don't care what it was. It can be 0-0. The dude he just brought it. Who averages 35 points in the season? Right. This dude, man, and a lot of kids they only saw the finished product. Right. With the tongue out. They never saw what this dude did in practice. Right. This dude practiced. And he went hard. He lived. He practiced. And if you didn't practice, you gonna hear from him.
All right, we were in practice, going out, we were scrimmaging, and it was a timeout. And Michael walked over to me, he said, the ball gonna go into Stacey King, I'm gonna steal it and go down and dunk. I'm like, yeah, okay, all right. So we go back on the court, ball went down a couple times. Then I looked at Michael, did like this. Give him in the face. The next play, the ball went to Stacey King. He spun middle and then came back baseline. Michael stole it, went down and dunked it, and did like this to me. So it was like, he's one of those guys who's played the game in his mind several times over and over. It's like he's been there before. And, I always say, playing with Michael, it's like he's in a time warp that he's just come back, time travel, come back and play the game to go back forward, to play some more, to come back to play some more, show you guys, this is what I know. He knew every play that was going to happen before it was played.
Do you think that Michael Jordan would be as successful without you?
No, but I don't think I would be successful without him. I think we both complemented each other in a lot of different ways. And we kind of competed and pushed each other to be great.
Michael was the greatest one-on-one player in the game. And
If he played in today's era where the game is more open, with more spacing, yeah, I mean, his numbers would just go off the roof, man. You know, I played with the guy pretty much his whole career, so I know that the guy goes in the game thinking 50. He just had that mentality of just like
had that drive.
daring you.
Chuck Daly said to me, he said, Charles, can I talk to you a second? I said, yeah, Chuck, anything. He said, you're the second best basketball player in the world. I said, who bet me? He says, that motherfucker right there. I said, you're right about that. I says, but thank you. And I've said it many times, that's the best compliment I've ever gotten from somebody.
Listen, Michael's the best I've ever seen. I played against Michael a lot. We came into the NBA together. So I played against him. I was in the NBA for 16 years. I think he played 12 or 13, retired early and blah, blah, blah. But when I got to Phoenix, I told those guys the first day, I said, guys, we're going to the finals. We're going to play that motherfucker from Chicago. I said, I'm sick of people telling me he's better than me. I just didn't have no help in Philly. Yeah. And I said, we're going to play them in the championship. And we got there and they beat it. And that was the first time I ever said in my life, damn, I think there's somebody better than me at basketball.
That's the first time in your life.
In my whole life. But when Chuck gave me that compliment, it meant a great deal to me.
You know, he wasn't the easiest teammate to play with. In fact, he was probably the hardest teammate I've ever played with. But it was really productive because he was able to raise the level of our competitiveness, but also our confidence. Because every practice day almost felt harder than games, you know, because you had to deal with him. Michael was so dominant, not only on the court, but in the locker room, you know, and so everybody felt more a sense of, we're going to win because we have Michael. So there was a comfort level with his confidence and his dominance, his sort of king of the hill mentality. So you went into every game like, yeah, he's on our side. But you went into every practice like, I better not get on his bad side, you know. And so it was an interesting combination. He raised the level of every practice so dramatically. Everything mattered to him. Every shooting drill, like he was so competitive. And we used to scrimmage a lot more back then than we do today. Most practice days we would scrimmage at some point, and those scrimmages were battles.
And I want you to tell me this story that you told me about Michael Jordan, when you and Michael Jordan kind of came to, you know, kind of little differences about your opinion about how the game was played when you played with Chicago with Michael Jordan.
Yeah, how the if you want to call it a confrontation came about. Phil was alternating players, you know, second team on the first team on the second team. And so we were scrimmaging, we played like 6 games of going to 5 points. And so after the first 2 games, Phil put me with the second unit where I always play with, you know, my boys. We proceeded to kick their butts like 4 straight games. And Michael took offense to it. So I asked him, how did he like that ass whooping we just put on him? And he took offense to it because clearly no one ever manned up to him, you know, challenged him. So he said that he was going to say that if I wasn't careful, he was going to kick my ass. And I told him, like, I'm not in awe of you. I played with some of the baddest fellas that walking the court. You know, he looking at me like I had slapped his mother.
I love that story. Then you went even further, and I think you talked about one of the rookies came over to you and said, man, I can't believe you talked to Michael like that.
And you know, with all due respect to he and Scottie and Dennis Rodney, you know, you don't know I'm hanging from the rafter. The guys I just named hanging from the rafter, not to mention I played with some Hall of Famers, and I'm supposed to be in awe of him. I rest my case.
I absolutely love that story because people for a while have been talking about, well, Michael Jordan was a bully.
You know, Michael was in your face. He challenged his teammates. And as you know, Larry was our leader, but Larry led by example. Michael, he all up in your face talking trash. You know, he might get a short right, Max, too.